take any offense if I'm muting you. It's just so that we can get the tech support set up, make sure that this recording is neat and tidy, and that we're able to share it into Telegram, into YouTube, out into the social media space. So don't take any offense if I'm muting you. It's just so that our presenters today have a nice, clear, even run at being able to give you the information necessary to make good, solid decisions. So well done for jumping on the call. We're about 30 seconds away from starting. And just whilst we wait for a couple more people to jump on, I am going to promote our main speakers for the evening. So Johnny B. Scott, I'm making you co-host. I'll be making Steve co-host as well. These are gentlemen that you've all got to know and love over the last few months. These are guys that dedicate time and hours and intellectual property into serving the community. And so we really are excited that they're always on these calls, always dedicated to giving back to this community. So thank you, Stephen, for taking time out of your diary. Thank you, Johnny B. Scott, as always. And I imagine I also need to promote Fernando into co-host as well. So I'll do that in a moment. But as always, Stephen, you're kicking us off. So over to you.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. I can definitely say that this has been some of the most exciting times that we've had with this project. And we have so many different moving parts happening, so many things to unpack. So it's always fun to just think about what can I talk about on a Tuesday that I can condense and fit into, my part of the call. And so I did want to cover a few things. Really, the first thing that I wanted to cover today was, we are having the stable coins come out. We have the, I like how Mr. Hype pronounces them, but we have the G Euro, the G Euro. I'm going to presume that the other one is the GCHF. That is the ticker symbol for the Swiss franc. And then, of course, the stable coin backed by gold. We, of course, don't have the precise formula for how the volume hitting those coins will impact the G999 precisely. But what I do want to highlight to everyone is just to give everyone an idea of why these stable coins will matter. If you look at the top 10 coins on the market right now, pay attention to what's number 3, what's number 4, and what's number 7. These are all stable coins pegged to the US dollar. Tether has been reigning supreme for a long while compared to the other coins. And the thing about them is that their values don't fluctuate, besides the fact that they might go up and down a cent or so, typically, right? Or their value, if it's pegged to the dollar, if the dollar is performing rather unwell, then of course that kind of decreases its value. But in terms of price, they are rather consistent to $1 US. The reason why they reign supreme in the top 10 is not that their price fluctuates, it's the fact that they have so much volume, right? For a lot of folks all throughout the world, Tether and all of the other stable coins are used in order to secure profits and for other purposes. And so that's one thing that helps contribute, I think, is that, and then obviously they have a circulating supply that can be increased or decreased depending on how much they are pegging it to. But these coins have a
So don't take any offense if I'm muting you. It's just so that our presenters today have a nice, clear, even run at being able to give you the information necessary to make good, solid decisions. So well done for jumping on the call. We're about 30 seconds away from starting. And just whilst we wait for a couple more people to jump on, I am going to promote our main speakers for the evening. So Johnny B. Scott, I'm making you co-host. I'll be making Steve co-host as well. These are gentlemen that you've all got to know and love over the last few months. These are guys that dedicate time and hours and intellectual property into serving the community. And so we really are excited that they're always on these calls, always dedicated to giving back to this community. So thank you, Stephen, for taking time out of your diary. Thank you, Johnny B. Scott, as always. And I imagine I also need to promote Fernando into co-host as well. So I'll do that in a moment. But as always, Stephen,
Yes,
you're kicking us off. So over to you.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. I can definitely say that this has been some of the most exciting times that we've had with this project. And we have so many different moving parts happening, so many things to unpack. So it's always fun to just think about what can I talk about on a Tuesday that I can condense and fit into, my part of the call. And so I did want to cover a few things. Really, the first thing that I wanted to cover today was, we are having the stable coins come out. We have the I like how Mr. Hype pronounces them, but we have the G Euro, the G Euro. I'm going to presume that the other one is the GCHF. That is the ticker symbol for the Swiss franc. And then, of course, the stable coin backed by gold. We, of course, don't have the precise formula for how the volume hitting those coins will impact the G999 precisely. If you look at the top 10 coins on the market right now, pay attention to what's number 3, what's number 4, and what's number 7. These are all stable coins pegged to the US dollar. Tether has been reigning supreme for a long while compared to the other coins. And the thing about them is that their values don't fluctuate, besides the fact that they might go up and down a cent or so, typically, right? Or their value, if it's pegged to the dollar, if the dollar is performing rather unwell, then of course that kind of decreases its value. But in terms of price, they are rather consistent to $1 US. The reason why they reign supreme in the top 10 is not that their price fluctuates, it's the fact that they have so much volume, right? For a lot of folks all throughout the world, Tether and all of the other stable coins are used in order to secure profits and for other purposes. And so that's one thing that helps contribute, I think, is that, and then obviously they have a circulating supply that can be increased or decreased depending on how much they are pegging it to. But these coins have a very high amount of volume. With just Tether itself, it can do $57 billion in a day in just trading volume, going back and forth. And so, I'm definitely excited to see what that can bring to our ecosystem, trading on BD Swiss, a platform that has a high amount of volume daily. If we even get a percentage of that, even a tiny percentage, that could mean a lot to our ecosystem. Besides that, I have been seeing a few questions about, let's say we get, our XLT, let's say we are paid a dividends within the next month or so. What if we get paid in Tether and it's on the Binance chain? What if I want to turn it into Tether on the Ethereum chain? How do I do that? I just wanted to touch on 2 ways that you can. The sites that I'm going to show are not the absolute authority. Also, of course, just understand that I am in California in the United States. What fits for me may not fit for you, even within my own country and or even within other countries. But there are really two routes that I know of that if you wanted to take, let's say, Tether from the Binance chain to, let's say, Ether, one route is going through a centralized exchange, meaning, for example, I'll use Binance US. Look for an exchange that lets you deposit Tether on multiple blockchains. So for example, if I look at Tether, if I want to deposit onto Binance US, I can see that they accept Tether on both the BESC and the ERC20. Conversely, if I was going to go to Coinbase, Coinbase tells you upfront they only deal with ERC20. So I would never send my crypto to, let's say, Coinbase.com if I'm dealing with the Binance Smart Chain. So it's important to know which exchanges you use accept what. I know that a popular one is probably KuCoin. I'm pretty sure that they accept multiple chains. Of course, this route may not be what all of us want to use. If you go through a centralized exchange, especially if you put in large sums of money, there could be a time in the future where they report some of your activity, or, I have a pal who sent $8,000 worth of Bitcoin into a crypto.com from his Coinbase account, and they froze his account. And they started to ask him all sorts of questions about how do you make your money? Where does the money come from? All of these checks. So, especially when you're dealing with large sums, it may be a little cumbersome to go through a centralized exchange. So there is another method, and that's using a bridge. There are many bridge platforms out there. One that I've used before is called Evo DeFi, but as I said, there are numerous ones, but the principle works like this. You connect to these wallets via a MetaMask wallet. So if I access mine, sign into my wallet, press connect wallet, they are connected with me. I can choose which blockchains am I going from and going to. So I can say I want to go from Binance, right? BSC. Well, I'm already on the BSC, and I can pick, I want to go to Ethereum, for example, which is already highlighted, right? Or Polygon, or if I wanted to do Ethereum, I'm pretty sure that I can pick it on the list. And I pick which token I'm going to transfer, right? So if I had USDT, I would say I want to go from Binance chain to the Ethereum blockchain, and I want to move USDT. Something to know is, these decentralized bridges do charge a commission. So, if I was only moving $50, they are saying that their commission is 35, right? Or like if I wanted to move anything, they're saying up front that the minimum is 85 USDT. So it's not cheap, or you can't move smaller amounts of cryptocurrencies on some of these decentralized bridges. These are great for higher sums because if I'm moving thousands of dollars, I think a $35 commission won't be too steep, because when you do the bridging, this never touches a centralized exchange who may or may not freeze your account or give you problems in the future. Of course, then also know, let's take this example. If I bridged and if I moved my Tether from the Binance chain into Ethereum, and I have my Tether on the Ethereum blockchain, meaning that I can now send it to, let's say, Coinbase or to other exchanges such as our GS Trade Exchange. Our GS Trade Exchange only takes Tether on the Ethereum blockchain, to my knowledge. If I have Tether on the Ethereum blockchain and I want to move it, I do need Ethereum now in my MetaMask to be the gas. So if you do bridge anything into another cryptocurrency, then, what you bridge it into, you are going to need, Ether to now move it. In order to do the bridge, like I bridged, I went from the Binance chain into Matic. When I had to do this transaction, they had me pay a fee. When I went from the Binance chain into Polygon, I had to pay a fee, to my knowledge, in Matic. So that's just something to know, is you are going to want to have, if you're going from Binance to Ethereum, have some Binance coin, have some Ether, covers any gas fees that you might incur going between multiple blockchains. But are there any questions that I can answer pertaining to this topic? Hopefully it's not too technical, but it's just something that might come up in the future. We are dealing with a lot of Binance chain. So, I just don't want there to be the case where someone has Tether on the Binance chain, they send it to GS Partners or into the Lydian world, and then it never arrives because you moved it on the wrong blockchain. And then you have to message Alex to say, hey, can you send me back my crypto? I don't want anyone to go through that experience. Okay, Melvin, your hand is raised.
Yes, if I'm understanding correctly, this is really good for us, because from what you're saying, with our, and follow up with this, of course, if our G999 fees are going to be similar to what's going on here, anyone that's going to extract a large amount from our blockchain, we're going to have some similar fees. Am I correct?
Well, I mean, right now our blockchain
large
in terms
amounts.
well, I mean, if we're just talking fees right now, lots of the stuff that we're doing with, let's say, the Lydian world, we are working with the Binance chain. Fees are being paid there. In terms of how our BD Swiss fees are working, I can't comment on that specifically because I don't know the math. But then, with how a portion of money might be flowing into us with folks going in and out of the G Euro, that is something that will benefit us, yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thanks very much for all you do.
Yeah. I just raised this point because, as of the last, with a past latest news, it was said that we're going to get our XLT payout in Tether. So if we operate under the assumption that it comes to us on the Binance chain, we just need to be able to know how to go cross chain. Okay, Gary?
Hi, can you hear me? Great information, Steve. It's neat. I was wondering, is there like a way to access the list of these bridge site exchanges or whatever? How will we search and know which ones to use to do that?
Honestly, this one was just recommended to me by a pal of mine who does a lot of this, and he works in the NFT space. I honestly don't have a list myself, but I can do some research so that by next call, I can present a list of more options. I just don't have one on the top of my head.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I've just gotten good comments off of, working with Evo DeFi and their bridge. So they're just one of many.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And Mulu?
I have a NFT that I'm not mining yet. What would happen if it doesn't?
And an NFT? Do you mean minting?
Yes.
Nothing happens if you don't mint it. You just can't put it into the NFT marketplace. And, minting it just gives you some more options to do, such as transferring it between accounts, putting it on the marketplace. So there's no consequence if you don't mint it, and there's no deadline to mint your NFTs. Minting does give you more functionality.
Also, would not earn anything.
If you don't mint your NFTs or your citizenship, you're going to still earn regularly off of your position. Same if you mint it. If you mint it or don't mint it, you are going to still earn just the same.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Inside of your Lydian world, and then one more minute, Johnny, and then I'll pass it over to you. Just to show you, if you just go to your account and, just take a quick look at a position, right? If I go ahead and log into to an account right now, if everything I have here is earning some of the resources. If I go to blockchain linked wallet, these are what I've minted. They are also still earning. The only time they will not earn is if I have them in the NFT marketplace up for sale. But if you mint it, you will earn just the same if you don't mint it.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Minting just gives you more functionality.
Okay, so but if they are not minted, even though they are sitting there, it would not earn anything, but just save itself.
You will earn just the same if you don't mint it. You don't have to mint them. You will earn still. Yes.
Thanks, Steve.
Oh, of course. Okay, and so I will pass the call over to you, Johnny.
Let me get unmuted. Can everybody hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Outstanding. Folks, our task here is to talk about tokenomics. And, most of us are, or some of us are, and what impact does all of this have on our beloved G999, and for that matter of fact, Lydian Stater, or any coin that we're dealing with here. And so real quickly, if Fernando, would you please share your screen and bring up the disclaimer? I just want to say that all the information that we've compiled is based on the information that we have at hand as we understand it. All right. And it's not meant to be advice, and it's only good for right this instant, meaning, in this world, the price is constantly changing. And this is also given to you to empower you to make your decisions and not to be holding. All right. And which brings me to the point. I have a call every day at 10, 2, and 4. We cover the same subjects many times. On Mondays, we hear from Garth and forgive me, Mr. Belignot, and those guys, they give us information and show us where to go find information on what's going on in the world of the crypto world. And it's important to take notes, find out where they get their resources so you can do your own information. Now, real quickly on, as many people know, and if you were looking at CoinMarketCap a minute ago when Stephen was showing, the difference between a stable coin and a free floating coin, if you noticed, the graph on Bitcoin almost looks exactly the same as the graph on all the other coins. Why? Because most of them, they're looking at it as Bitcoin, as the price relates to Bitcoin. So if you'll take a look at G999, G999, our graph doesn't look the same as all the others. And the main reason being is because our coin is really performing quite well in a down market. All right. Now, there's, I think that the main thing that I want to talk about today really is two sides. One side is what's actually going on in GS trade as it relates to our coins and the order book. And the other thing I want to talk about is what impact the mining certificates, which was the first ones, and the metaverse certificates, what impact they're having on the supply and the demand. All right. So I'm going to ask Fernando. This right here is G99 to Bitcoin or Satoshis, and what the order book looks like right now. So Fernando.
Yeah, this is hi everyone. This is GS trade on G999 and BTC. Okay, right now there's already there's a lot of movement in the exchanges right now. In GS trade now it has three main barriers for 15, 16, and 17 satoshis, starting in 1.5 million in 15 satoshis. 1.9 million in 16 satoshis and 2.3 million in 17 satoshis. And as you can see, the next big barrier comes all the way to 222 satoshis, which at the actual price, it's 6.4 cents per G999. Okay, now this is very interesting what's going on, because if we come to the metaverse certificates right now, if we want to fill the amount of certificates that are in the system, let me see, $0 to $1. We've got 22,907 certificates for the mining certificates that ended last month. In the metaverse certificates right now, we're almost at 4,000 certificates. If we come into the road to $1 in G999 in the deflationary model, we can come down all the way, all the things that are already retained right now. It gives us 6.2 billion coins that are retained, which gives us the price of the coin at 1.1 cent. But with the G99 incentive for the mining certificates, it will bring us the coin to 4.3 cents, plus the burning 9.6 cents. And right now, what's going on right now is that if we want to fill the almost 4,000 certificates on the metaverse, it will take out 595 million coins, which brings the coin to 45 cents. So there's a lot of certificates already in the system that if we fill them up with the G999, it will take away a lot of coins. Plus the 5% burn, it will take us to 56 cents.
Okay, let me stop you for a second. So I want to clarify this for everybody's information. When we say it would take us to 45 cents, that means if all of those coins filled right now off of the exchange based on the order books, it would take us, it would take out everything, all the orders up to 45 cents. Okay. Now, yeah. We know that more orders will come in and all that stuff to sell, but I want y'all to understand that when we say that, where do we find these numbers? We're not just pulling them, we're not pulling them out of the air. All right.
Okay, so those numbers.
But the other thing that I wanted you to understand here as well, that what Fernando's trying to demonstrate is, if there's 100, how many orders are there on the order books right now on all exchanges?
Okay, just let's remember this number, 595 million coins. Okay, when we come over to the charts and we come over to the total G999 in the exchanges, this is the amount of G999s are in the exchanges, 126 million. And we require 595 million. So this is the amount of G999 required to fill the metaverse certificates. It's 1/4 of it. So there's going to start being a lot of demand for the G999 to fill those certificates.
So here's what you should get out of this. When we talked in earlier days about going negative, that means there's not enough supply to carry out the demand. All right, so we're talking about 126 million coins that are currently on the order books, and we need 528 million to fill it. So what does that say that people are going to have to do? They either go out and get Lydian stators to fill it, or if we get go out and buy more G999. Now, here's one other thing that I want to say real quick is that if on the meta broker certificates, there's a lot of discussion that if you fill it by one third with G999, it activates it, correct? Okay, so 126 million to 500 million is what? Pretty doggone close to a third, isn't it? Okay, so it would behoove us, it would behoove us to do the best that we can to secure more coins or more G999 right now at this price. So, you know, it sure seems to me I'd be going out to the market and buying as many G999s as I could to fill up my my certificates. All right.
Now this number has been jumping to 150 million, and that is because BTX Live has been putting orders up to 20, 30 million, and then they disappear all of a sudden. This figure yesterday was about 12 million. It came down to 3 million. So there's a lot of activity in BTX Live. In Bitforex, there's a lot of G999s, but there's not a lot of activity. But the activity that I've seen more is in BTX Live and GS Trade. So and there's activity of 20, 30 million coins. So there's movement. There's once everybody starts filling their certificates, their metaverse certificates, this is going to change very, very fast.
Yeah. And can I ask you one quick question here, Fernando? Were you able to get that chart together about the easy button?
No, it was basically 30, but I got some confusion there, but I'll try to do it today.
All right. So one thing that we're working on that we'll have available next week, you know, if you use the easy button to go out and purchase your G999 or your Lydian World or your Lydian Stater, understand that based on our figures the other day on a 49 on the first one, it'll cost you do your own math. I don't. I've already been. You know, it is easier to use the easy button. It's going to cost you, but I want to go back with what Stevens, folks. This world that we're in is a weird world. It's a brand new and it's very complex. It's very important for us to learn the numbers. All right. I used to do the deal, know your zeros. All right. It's important to know because it can cost you a lot of money or you can save a lot of money by looking at the numbers and making sure that whenever you deal with a coin, you're dealing with the correct coin from which exchange. And we'll be more than happy to provide the videos or the PDFs or the instruction or commentary on our calls to be able to have everybody to try to give you all the ammunition you need to be able to maneuver through this crazy world we're in. It is exciting, and folks, I think we're going to make a lot of. I think we have the potential to make a lot of money in this, and I think again, good Texas term. I think we're just before fixing to take off. So I'm going to shut up now. Please open up for any questions. And as usual, Steve, it takes me 5 minutes just to introduce myself. So unmute your mic, Steve.
So right now we need 4.7 times more coins that are in the market to fill the metaverse certificates.
You know, I'll just say that I'm pretty sure that we're not going to get starved. I'm pretty sure that if the market's hungry, I'm pretty sure that some people are going to be feeding it. So
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know how to pronounce it, but we'll just take one question. Spiel, I'm sorry. Your hand is raised.
Spelele, Spelele,
S-P-E-L-E-L.
over to you.
We just have time for one question. Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. I just want to ask a question that, since you see that some other countries with the lower entry level of leading lines, which are like mined out. So in future, so if ever then you wanna still buy your certificates, so then you still have to look now again into other countries, which obviously now have a higher value to get into, to put your whatever certificate you have. So
yes, for the mining of the staters, yes, you will have to start looking for some other countries, but also understand that certain treasuries are temporarily mined out because of what's pending. Some countries that are mined out will have their supply come back later. But if we're talking about the trading credits, the meta broker certificates, those don't have a limitation. You can put those on countries that are mined out because those are not mining the stater. Though those can go in any country.
Okay. Just another question. Okay, I'm not understanding exactly the trading compound. How does that work in a country?
Unfortunately, I just said there's just time for one. I don't want to go too over the call. I want to respect everyone's time here. Perhaps, that can be asked perhaps on Thursday. Harry has a call geared to the Lydian world. We might be able to have time to extrapolate on that point. So, just be on for Thursday and that can be answered, okay? I do just want to make sure that we respect the time. Bruce, are there any closing comments?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, there is a closing comment, and this is going to be a little bit of a curveball because I didn't get a chance to chat with Steve and Johnny around this. But next week, what I want to do is I want to eat up probably 3 of the power half hours, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, going right back to some of the basics of the tokenomics of the project, going back towards some of the basics of blockchain and how our project fits within that technology, and also just giving some helpful jargon and analogies. So next week, we're going to be going into a slightly different format, just so we can reset the foundation on some language, some analogies, and some thinking, because our community has grown in the last few months, and we're just concerned that some of that framework, some of that jargon isn't there. And we just assume it is, right? So we're throwing out terms and analogies that maybe that might be leaving some people behind. So Steve, Johnny, I'm going to be hijacking the Power Half Hours next week just to reset a bit of a platform, so that going forward again, everything we're saying, everything we're doing, the terminology we're using really serves the community. And having said that, I am going to shamelessly promote that if you've got people who've come on board in the last 2 to 3 months, get them onto next week's Power Half Hours or share the recordings so that our entire community has that sameness, that language, that jargon, that the necessary terms and analogies to help them really understand what's happening at a bigger level here. So looking forward to seeing everybody next week. Steve, Johnny, Fernando, as always, huge value on a Tuesday. Thank you, gentlemen. We value you guys so much. Have a good evening, morning, afternoon, everyone. Cheers.